Hello, and welcome to the CTB Show. It is nearly mid-January. The weather, totally fine. When you're coming into first, and Ted Cruz is the fucking worst, diarrhea. Welcome to the show. Me name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Laval.
I'm just here to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
Yes, if you could move to the side a little bit so we can see your friend. That's the wrong... And that is Casey the Kasem.
Big money, no Amy's.
Oh, yeah. So, Casey, am I to understand that each and every catchphrase that you're going to have per week is some sort of thing from a game show?
But, I mean, right now. But, I mean, who knows? Next week it could be completely different.
Right. Ooh. Hey. We'll get to some game shows in a moment, but top of the show, plugs! Ladies and gentlemen, when this drops, this episode of the CTB Show drops, I'm calling it Super Content Wednesday. We're going to have a new episode of the CTB Show. We're going to have a new 5 Minutes with the Fam on YouTube. Very enjoyable stuff. And a new Ziggy Gets It Wrong for audio purposes until we actually do video for that one.
Now, what are these episodes that are coming out? Let's tease them with some topics.
So the 5 Minutes with the Fam is going to be our favorite genre, or our favorite pop culture thingies from when we were kids.
Uh-huh.
And Ziggy Gets It Wrong. I don't remember which episodes we covered, but they're end of season 2. So getting toward the part where he goes to Vietnam. I think one of the episodes takes place on a cruise ship, and we get introduced to environmentalist Al.
Yes, he very much cares about the Earth because he cares about everything they're doing that week.
Right. Anything that's in the zeitgeist for that week, Al is on it.
He's done it, and he's done it better than you. And
you should be on it, and by that I mean subscribe to the CTB Presents feed that we have on all the various platforms, or if you subscribe to Spotify, you'll just get everything. Or you know what? Like most of these things, I don't know how, but the feeds just get congealed together. So you're getting all that good CTV content that you crave. Especially some people were craving it over the holidays. We skipped one episode, and I'm getting some tweets. I'm getting some Fam Zone messages.
It's good to hear.
It's good to hear. Good to hear that two of us out there, or maybe three, really enjoy the content and want more on the daily or the constant whatever.
That's all I need.
Say what?
I need more.
You need more.
Yeah,
then
I'd like
we'll get more.
Oh, good.
It should be noted, 2020 notes, administrative notes. The CTB fund was a little behind. We lost about $100. We are not including the proceeds from Nugget Fest here. So we're only talking about stuff like Warby Parker, all the banner ads and this and that and the other, the affiliate programs. Considering I bought this headset microphone I'm wearing right now and a bunch of other equipment and the steady $15 a month Zoom subscription that we've been using to do this since April, March, May. I don't remember.
March.
Was it March? Well, yeah, it's not so bad. But hey, Venmo us some money. That's the that breeds. And if you give us some money and suggest a tip jar topic, we will always record it and incorporate it into part of an episode that we do. Or
if you just send us a straight $100, you can be the fourth box on our Zoom call.
Yes. Yeah, you can be a co-host for several weeks, at least 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cheap.
Right.
Brian is out. Co-host is in. Brian, you got to be in school anyway, so who cares?
Well, I'll be busy.
Yeah, you'll be busy. And one more thing, and this is kind of the first topic of the show. So I started, as I've been saying, we've been doing Mobtown Meat Snacks for a couple of weeks now, and I'm getting the website up and running again, and started remaking the Oreo sauce, the hot sauce that I was making before, and getting very good feedback. And then I discovered a key to bring this to retail fruition. It's called the fish pepper. And it is a pepper that is almost unique to Maryland and the Philadelphia area from the 1800s that apparently for a very long time there, the various seafood cookeries would incorporate this pepper into their cream sauces.
That's fascinating, if only because fish pepper sounds like an ABC Saturday night mystery movie from the 70s. Right. Fish pepper, you're out of control and you gotta rein it in. You can't bring
Detective
me
Fish Pepper PI.
Fish pepper, you're out.
He's somehow related to Quincy or Q or whatever his name is.
Quincy M.E.
Quincy M.E. Yep. Quincy and Fish Pepper. Good team up. Cop show. Investigator show. But yeah, I did some snooping around on the internet, and by that I mean just research. And turns out that the snake oil hot sauce that is put out by Woodbury Kitchen is made with fish peppers, but undoubtedly they charge a lot of money for their hot sauce, and my design is not to do that. But yeah, if you want to learn more, just Google fish peppers. It's got a crazy, interesting history in the region. Almost went extinct.
I find your plan to be the asylum movie producers of Baltimore area hot sauces to be quite a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of calling it snake venom, I'm just going to call it, or snake oil or whatever it's called. It'll just be reptile juice.
Call it barbecue imposters. Nice bod. Check out that bod.
Barbecue imposters. Title of the episode. Just kidding.
Haven't had one in a while.
Anyway, so I'm going to figure out how to get a line on these peppers and or grow them myself. And I already have the name of a contract bottler, and I can probably get this thing up and running by the end of the fiscal and or calendar year.
I'm Julius Fish Pepper PI, and I say, get my hot sauce.
Listen, if you need a murder or an infidelity to be investigated, but also enjoy a good hot sauce, give me a call.
The mystery is how many bottles you'll buy.
The additional mystery is how many Scovilles is in it. Isn't that right, Casey the Kasem?
Yes.
And also, the other mystery is who killed the wealthy widow.
Ooh.
Find out Friday night, only on your ABC networks.
And every single scene in the show, there's a bottle of the fish pepper PI sauce in the background.
It's my quirk. Kojak uses lollipops, and I drink out of Julius Fish Pepper's secret sauce.
Yeah, and he puts it on everything, and at some point uses it to solve a crime.
Hey, Julius, it's your hot, sassy female partner, Candy Boobs her name. And I say,
Boobs her name?
You gonna put Boobs her name? That's it. It's German. Are you gonna put that? Are you gonna put that hot sauce on your ice cream? I sure am, babe. I put Julius Fish Peppers on everything. Trademarked. That's a phrase I invented in 1974, and those other people are stealing it. Wow, Fish Pepper, you sure are great. Thanks.
I think we got a hit on our hands here. So Casey, you were asking about the Scoville rating. It's between 5 and 30,000, which you would think that sounds like a wide range, but in terms of hot peppers, not so much.
What's it comparable to?
Like a Serrano or like a very up at the scale jalapeno. The difference with these peppers is that the jalapenos, the color ranges from a milky white as a juvenile pepper all the way to red, but it goes through a whole rainbow coalition of color changes. It's very strange.
I have so many jokes about milky white peppers.
Mm-hmm, yep. But that was the reason that a lot of those peppers were used for cream-based seafood sauces, because the color of the pepper did not disrupt the sauce flavor color.
I use my very own cream and all of my cream-based Julius Fish Pepper's secret sauces.
Available at Bambergers.
Go down to your local Caldor and get yourself some Julius. Man, I wish I wasn't stoned. I can remember that. Go down to Hutzler's. Get the most famous Julius Fish Peppers.
Yeah.
Most famous secret sauce.
Why they would have a secret sauce at a furniture store, we may never know. Not that it matters.
What were they? Were they just a department store?
Hutzler's? I thought it was just a furniture store. I can't quite remember.
No.
Anyway, Barry Hutzler is long dead, so who cares?
You're all dead except for me, Julius Fish Pepper. I'm 173 years old.
Oh.
I was 73 in 1974. Now I'm 119.
Yeah, he went into the time compression chamber and came out.
Nope, just living on whiskey and cigars.
Ooh, yeah.
And Julius Fish Pepper's secret sauce, the key to immortality.
Yeah, you chug that shit while you're doing your private investigator television show, and
didn't the guy who created Vaseline live to be like 120, and he ate a spoonful of Vaseline every day?
Ugh. Vaseline is a petroleum product. I don't know why you would want to eat it.
It's a petroleum jelly.
Yeah, gross. Ugh.
Hey, you know what else is gross? It's not that
What's
gross.
that?
It's just sad because the world goes on.
Yeah.
I was going to say Ken Jennings on Jeopardy.
Was it gross? You thought? I thought he did okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's his first episode, and you're going to get some crap.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he doesn't quite have the delivery, the deadpan Trebek effect. But why would we expect that?
That's what I was going to say. You knew Alex's rhythms and intonation, and like you knew what he was saying when he wasn't saying it.
Right.
And you just don't have that with Ken.
No, Ken's just a nice guy.
He's a Mormon, so he's officially a nice guy.
Yes, by law. What? Casey, you didn't know that was in the rule book?
No, apparently. Now I know.
Mormon rule book. You must be a nice guy. Also, wear weird underwear and don't drink caffeine. And it is permissible to put your penis in your girlfriend's vagina and let it sit there, but don't move.
It's called soaking.
I call it docking.
Docking is different.
That's dudes.
Docking is when two uncircumcised penises and somebody takes his foreskin.
Family-friendly show.
And stretches his foreskin over the head of the other man's penis and just lets it sit there.
Yeah.
That's docking.
Allegedly.
That doesn't, there's no, why? That doesn't sound fun at all.
Oh, Casey, the tip of your penis is filled with thousands of nerves. Maybe even millions. So it does sound fun. Casey, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum here, man.
I'm just saying.
Well, it does sound fun for you, but I'm sure it does sound fun for tens of our listeners.
You think tens of our listeners engage in docking?
Yes, I am what's known as an optimist.
Well, very good. Either way.
Brian, does that include you or excluding you?
No. I had a horrible accident. I can't do that anymore. Got all twisted up like two dogs and fucking.
Okay. Anyway, we've got a couple of more topics to cover on the front half of the show, and by that I mean really like third, because we're going to have to spend some quality time, discussing the events of January 6, 2021. I feel almost wildly unqualified to talk about this shit, other than to note that while this stuff was happening, I was processing and or uploading a podcast in which we were talking about like Bane giving advice as to what 2021 ought to what ought to happen, and generally like comedic dumb stupid shit while all of that.
Imagine if we had waited a day to record that.
Right.
How different it would have been.
Because, by the time we got around to it on that Wednesday, it would have been after the events of the invasion, and I don't see how we wouldn't have spent the entire hour plus discussing that topic. But before we get to that, I think Brian, you had a rather Larry David moment the other day.
I had a fun time. So I don't know if everybody knows, but I spent some
Your
of
name?
2020. What?
Your
My
name?
Yes. I spent some of 2020 getting a divorce. I hope this isn't news to people.
It's news to me.
No, Casey, it's true. It happened. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I landed in Hamden, basically, still working in the neighborhood that I'm living, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I get a text from Caitlin as I'm walking into work the other day. Hey, are you at Giant? I'm like, yeah, yes, I am. She's like, okay, I'm coming to see you. And as I step 3 steps forward, like, yep, she turns the corner. She was already there. She came to ask if she could still play in the Fortnite group that we kind of had, which really doesn't exist. That shit got pretty blown up, by the whole divorce. And so I was like, yeah, sure. I don't want to be mean. I'd much rather things be nice and generous between the two of us. And, I'm not interested in being a bad guy, So as I'm saying yes, but keeping all these thoughts to myself, who should walk up? Casey, would you like to guess who showed up?
Your girlfriend.
No. Honestly, would that have been better or worse? I don't know. Take a step down. No. My father showed up. My father walks up. This is the first time that they have seen each other. And as I am already in a conversation where Caitlin is very obviously fighting back tears, my father shows up, and here come the waterworks. And I'm standing 50 feet from the deli, and they're all kind of looking at me. And my dad is saying, oh, hey, we'll always love you, and don't, you go be happy and all that shit. I'm like, oh, this is really heartwarming. And I can't believe that this is happening
at work
while I'm wearing a hat and an apron and I got buffalo chicken shit all over me. And I'm like, so nice. I'm glad I could facilitate this. Why are either of you people here? It was very Larry David. I think one of the ways that I survived all of this is that I have a hard time, without getting into detail, I have a hard time not finding a whole lot of the circumstances surrounding all of this. If it wasn't the Brian Levy story, it'd be a pretty good sitcom, I guess. It's hard not to recognize a lot of those facts. So, this was all just part and parcel. It was a bittersweet kind of moment, I guess, if that's the right word. Tragicomic.
Why was your dad there?
Oh, you know what? Great fucking question. Maybe he was in the neighborhood and had to do some shopping. Thought he'd go see his kid.
Just thought he'd take a scoot down Falls Road and pop in and get some brisket and say hi.
I don't know where he's coming. I don't know where he's coming from. He doesn't. He only lives 5 miles away. You know, it's not. It's just down Falls a little bit. It's not. If he's coming home and he's coming up 83, he's like, yeah, I'll swing through, go to that Giant instead of the one in Pikesville. And this, I'd much rather go to my Giant than the Gucci Giant in Pikesville. But maybe that's just me.
Oh.
I know where everything is.
The best part about this is that this emotional moment was triggered because of a question about Fortnite.
Yeah.
I don't know why she couldn't have texted me, but it's cool.
Had to show up to ask in person.
It's
about
cool,
Fortnite.
It's good to see her. I want to see that she's healthy. I want to see that she's doing good. It's nice to see, but couldn't have texted me. That was an in-person question. That's fine.
Just Well, maybe she also had to get some charcoal briquettes or, and supplies.
Yeah, in December or January or whatever. Yeah. What month is it?
It's March. It's the 13th month of 2020.
The shit just keeps on. Time is a flat circle. Couldn't help but think you don't have to ask your husband if he wants to play video games. You can just be like, hey, don't have to make a mission. Yeah. But yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Well, now that I've got Fortnite, we can all play together.
It always says you're in the loader. Listen, might happen one day. It always says you're in the loader. I keep looking to see if you want to play.
I right now have been playing Hades nonstop for a while, and then I'm gonna finish up with Doom Eternal, which, by the way, is a very hard game. It is hard. It is so fast, and you get hurt so much.
I am obviously playing Fortnite and Mario Galaxy now. Hey, so I ordered it, I bought a whole bunch of games to download, and then oh, you need an SD card, and I ordered an SD card, and now it's just lost in the mail. Hey, really support the USPS, but it's you're making it hard for me to love you.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I get a refund or another one sent? And they're like, man, that's been sent.
Yep. It's out of our control.
And I'm like, fuck.
I ordered a wearable blanket, don't ask, from someone on eBay. It's been in transit.
Like a Snuggie?
No, it's not a Snuggie. It's like a big old blanket with buttons and a zipper. I'll post a photo.
So it's a fancy Snuggie.
It's a very fancy Snuggie. It's a proto Snuggie. It's man's first Snuggie. And I ordered it on January 2nd. It was in transit on the 4th. It has been sitting at some sort of sorting facility in Baltimore since the 9th. It has not arrived yet. I'm like, okay, is it ever going to get here?
I had something that made a circuit from my 1982 Star Trek calendar, which I got because 1982 lines up with 2021. So it works. But it made a circuit between Baltimore and Linthicum 3 times, and I'm like, why? Why?
I have packages that have done that as well.
Casey has sent to the chat this wearable blanket thing. This is the sound of all
and
this.
Shembler or something.
So
the wearable blanket.
Casey, do a share screen because we have the technology for the.
We can rebuild him.
4 people that are watching this on YouTube.
Just don't share my screen. I don't need everybody seeing my OnlyFans stuff. It's not ready to be published yet.
Nobody else wants to see it either.
Listen, look, for $5, I'll rate all of your cocks. I'll do it. $5
You'll
a pop.
rate the cocks?
Yeah, your girth, your grooming, your length, your first impressions.
But Brian, as it is with all of your systems of rating, it's a binary, so.
Oh, listen, look. I'll suck all your dicks. Or at least pretend to on OnlyFans. And also, everyone's getting the same rating. But it's all a yes for me, as always. All right, Casey, share this blanket.
He can't. We're figuring this out, and I'm on I'm on a dual screen right now, so I'm kind of screwed. Anyway, we'll put it in the show notes and/or the Fam Zone fun time area. That's what. Because
I can't talk about sucking dicks anymore. So
yeah, you probably should not do that. Either way, I know we've only been recording for 20 minutes, but it is now time to take a break. Using air quotes. Give
me the tray.
And celebrate the internet sensation sweeping the nation. It's time for shout-outs.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shout-outs is the part of the show in which we don't take a break and we give mad props, aka shout-outs to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our quality of life. Casey, what do we got from the Fam Zone?
Zach Electric Golf says, "Shout out to boobs."
Oh yeah.
Not sure where that came from, but it was.
I'm down.
In times in unprecedented times like these, sometimes you just got to remember,
boobs.
Goddamn titties. Goddamn titties.
Titties.
Listener Adam says, "Shout out for for Shorty for having Baltimore trend for a good reason.
Wait, what?
It's shout out to Shorty.
Oh,
so
Shorty.
he's
Oh,
referring
yeah.
to the video where
Shorty, pull your mask
the mayor
up.
told Shorty to pull your mask up.
I think maybe if we do a bumper, that will be the bumper, is the rap remix of Shorty Pull Your Mask Up.
Oh, there's a rap remix.
Yes, there is.
There's auto-tune that.
I would like to just hear Casey say, "Pull your mask up, Shorty," forever. Quite possibly the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Excuse me, Shorty. Pull your mask up, please. Thank you.
Hi there, homeboy. I wonder if you could pull that mask, hitching it right up over that nose, fella.
Home Slice, I would like to ask you to please pull up your mask, Shorty, there.
Hi there, this is Casey the Kasem, and George Bush doesn't care about black people.
So that's a fresh joke.
Thanks.
Poppin' fresh.
Oh, it's time for a comeback. Hey, Kanye's fucking Jeffree Star. What's that about?
I don't know, but he's getting a divorce. And they've got 3 kids.
You should call me. I can give him some tips.
Yes, you're the expert.
Play Fortnite with Kim.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Listen.
Run into her at the Giant.
Right. Well, it's LA, so probably Kroger's.
Whichever. Or what's the one with Tungus? The A to B. Anyway, who cares? Casey, go ahead.
Listener Liz says, shout out to the grandma style pizza at Limoncello at the edge of LP. The spicy I don't know how to pronounce it. Salami is the shit.
Very good. Okay, yeah, that's Limoncello, a restaurant in the area. Look it up. They apparently have been doing Napoli-style pizzas lately, which is that's nice. Anything else?
Listener John says, shout out to the brave cabinet members, cough, cough.
Yes.
Who have the moral fortitude to resign, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Jump ship.
We'll get to that.
Gail says, shout out to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for permanently banning Trump.
Yes, we will also get to that.
Facebook and Instagram did not permanently ban him. It was a 2-week. So it's through the 20th.
But his account has been suspended. And
yes,
my
through the
understanding
20th.
is they do not unsuspend your account.
They're at least what they've said publicly is that it is planned through the inauguration, and then they will revisit it after the inauguration.
Gotcha.
So it's not a permanent thing.
All right.
Just yet.
Okay.
Jeff says, shout out to Merrick Garland. May he begin kicking ass as soon as possible.
Yes, as much ass as can be kicked, please. Thank you.
He's gonna be the busiest man in Washington. The 21st.
Right. Let's see. Nothing left from the fan zone, I assume.
No.
All right, my shout out this week is to steak. Yummy.
Yummy.
Brian, what do you got?
Hey, you know what? Shout out to the pretty easily navigated COVID testing lines.
Sure.
Down over at the convention center.
Yeah, we did that when we went up to Long Island, and it took less than 30 minutes. I mean, if that.
It took about 45, and I was fine with that. That's a fine. That's a fine amount of time.
Were you?
I know someone in Florida.
I just walked up.
Okay. Yeah.
I know someone in Florida that had to take a COVID test, and it was a drive-through, and it took them 4 hours.
Ugh.
I didn't even find it that difficult. You know, it was a little bit of pressure in my brain, and then like a little tickle when they twisted, and then it was done.
A little tickle when they twisted.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Hee.
Casey, what's your shout out this week?
There really is not much to shout out this week. It really is.
Yeah, Casey, I just shouted out a COVID test. Who you fucking telling?
Well, as Lord and Master of this podcast, I command you to impromptu come up with one right now, or you're fired.
Hey, I'll help Casey. Casey's wearing.
No. Go ahead.
I would say, Casey, you're wearing a Grateful Dead sweatshirt. Casey's shout out is to Friend of the Devil.
Okay.
A very good song. Oh, I have another shout out, speaking of songs.
Okay.
There is a Bob Dylan song, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. I'm sure we all know it. Do yourselves a favor and Google the Frankie Valli version. It is, of all, like, Bob Dylan gets some weird fucking arrangements. This might be my favorite weird Bob Dylan arrangement. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Okay. What I was going to say is I did a 5K this weekend. I mean, I walked it, but did a 5K this weekend. And could probably like do that every month now because
You're going to walk a 5K every month?
3 miles once a month? Don't strain yourself, bro.
Hey, look, last month it was 0 miles, so this is an improvement.
Baby steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Incremental success. All right, we are officially into the next phase of the program, and what else could we possibly talk about than the events of last week? Entirely too much ground to cover in terms of our breadth of knowledge and our expertise, which is virtually non-existent.
Oh,
but hey, what a wild fucking ride that was, huh?
I've had one semester of college and read 2 books that dealt heavily with protests, and I can tell you what this was not.
Right. It was. Are you saying it wasn't a protest?
No. This was a storming. There's a difference.
I like to call it a sacking. That the Capitol got sacked. You know.
But is this what it's? You know how like when COVID started, people are like, no, bro, this is just the first in the forever now cycle of killer diseases that are going to just get killer and killer.
Right.
Is this just like the first time this will happen, and now every few years, like they're just going to shut it down for a few days?
I was thinking about this because while we were watching it in real time happening, I couldn't help but think it was kind of funny. It was like, this is some ramshackle bullshit. Like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, they were being let into the building at certain points and just kind of walking around and taking a tour and this and that and the other.
Taking selfies.
Yeah, if there were an iota of organization, they could have fucking burned the place to the ground. And, you know, after I realized, and to address what you were saying, Brian, after I realized, oh, this seemed unimaginable before, but now that it's happened, you know, it's almost inevitable that, you know, state houses are going to get sacked. You know, the Capitol hadn't been invaded in over 100 and 200 years almost or something like that, and now it has. So you can bet your ass that when Tony Hawk lands a 720 or above in terms of degrees of spinach, someone else is going to do it more. So yes, the answer to your question, Brian, is yes. This is going to happen again. It's going to happen worse. And unless we do something about the mind control devices known as Twitter and Facebook, let's just limit it to that.
Well, OnlyFans, they have convinced me to do quite some things.
But that's mind control for virtuous reasons, like titties and you know, buttholes. Whereas this is like,
support your small businesses. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Support single mothers.
What blows my mind about this whole thing is, like you were saying, it was so ramshackle. Like, there was people there that had a plan. I paid way too much attention to this. They arrested 2 people who had flex ties with them.
Right.
I mean, and then there was like the 3 pipe bombs for whatever reason that didn't go off.
The
like
napalm, the other explosive devices, and the various guns, and it is amazing to me that one person was killed via like actual weaponry, and the rest
the
were
taser
just,
guy.
Yeah, well, no, well, I guess if you want to call it that, no, the lady that got shot.
He tased his balls to death.
I love that that's the narrative. Like, yes, he tased himself in his balls, dude, and then he fell and hit his head, and then he was like, "Oh, my balls!" and then he died.
Question.
Yes.
You said about the one lady that died.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Babbitt, and I fucking hate that I know her name. It's ASHLI, and if any white woman was going to be a terrorist, her name was proof of that.
Right. I will say for the record, what pisses me off the most about that person is that she's a fucking Air Force veteran, and I for some reason have this very Pollyanna-ish notion that veterans should be better.
All these people are fucking veterans.
A lot of them, yes.
If they should win and create their Handmaid's Tale, America, is Ashley Babbitt like their Crispus Attucks?
Something like that.
Crispus Attucks is the black man who was killed at the Boston Massacre. Boston
shot her
around the world. Yeah, Casey. Oh, that was sexy. I'm into you. The Boston Massacre, and like that's just like, oh, I hate all these people. I hate them so much.
Yeah, it's difficult to look at that scene and. Again, like, I thought it was kind of funny at first, like the fucking rube who's got his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and the guy with the horns, and all the various cartoons that are just marching around the Capitol building. But then you realize, like, if they had even an iota of, like, a plan or something to that effect, they could have done...
Why didn't they have guns?
Like, they could have done the most serious damage we could have possibly imagined, especially since they were simply just kind of a let in, and then at a certain point they were like, wait, maybe we shouldn't do this. What kills me, and then what fucking drives me nuts, is that all the online chatter that I saw that was like, no, this is not a comparison, we can't, the stuff that was happening at the Black Lives Matter stuff, they were like actually firebombing, you know, businesses and buildings and this and that and the other, and I'm like, okay, branding, messaging. What's the difference between Black Lives Matter and what these guys were doing?
Here's the interesting thing is that I think because of the generations of disenfranchisement, you know, systematic abuse, systematic racism, the Black Lives Matter, the protests, the George Floyd protests, everything you saw this summer, they had a real rage. You know, they want change. This was such a fucking, you know, I'm 37 years old, so I wear the millennial badge with pride. And if I'm going to take the shit that I like about it, I'm going to say, let's look at this. This was the most millennial insurrection I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If only because they showed up, and what the fuck did they do? They started taking selfies.
Right. Yeah,
like,
everyone was just walking around with their phone in their hand, videoing the entire goddamn experience, and some weird shit happened. Some people got killed and hurt and or killed themselves accidentally. But like,
I think there's a lot to be said that the people who stormed the Capitol also felt like they had home field advantage.
Yeah,
you know, every time
they felt like they had permission to do what they were doing.
You know, our good buddy Joe Giordano was right there in the middle of all the shit.
Yes,
and
like, I want to bring this up specifically because I did invite him. I invited him to come on the show. He had some amazing photography and footage of what was going on. He was like right there at the front door of the Capitol building.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out his Facebook, Instagram, you absolutely must.
It's
but like,
JMG
you know,
Pics.
There are just so many stories of like from cops who are like, they punched me in the face and yelling, "We're doing this for you!" Like they they don't want change. They want to whine because they lost.
Well, there's
and
that,
they think that,
but they also feel like they are pariahs and somehow also be heroes at the same time. It's a combination of things, like I've been saying on and on. Like, social media is poisoning people's brains, and Facebook at this point is nothing to me but a mind control device for people who can't make up their own, you know, thought processes at this point.
So we're basically a week out from it. What are the things that have surprised you the most, pleasured you the most, pleased you the most about
the conservative tears, that have been flowing like water and wine at the same time. Look, Donald Trump has been deplatformed, whether temporarily or permanently, I don't really know, but watching that happen was a complete boner for me. His presence online is a toxic at best, and, well, as we've seen, fascist, revolutionary at worst. And what I love watching is like all of these conservative douchebags like saying they're being targeted, and they continue to say they're being targeted and they're being censored and this and that and the other. And out of the other side of their mouth, they will continue to trumpet the pros of private entities and business and this and that and the other, whereas they are trying to tell us by saying that they're being censored by Twitter and Facebook that Twitter and Facebook are public utilities. They're not platforms. They're utilities. And
well, then it's time. It's time to make the internet a public utility. It's time to make.
Yeah, how about that? Huh?
You know, take wrest control of the internet away from like fucking Comcast and like all that shit. Like,
the problem is that it is a national thing. Like, I don't know, because like you have like countries like Russia and China that have their controls on what can and cannot be viewed on the internet, so it's a little bit different, I guess, per country. But like, by and large, like we, the United States, cannot control the internet. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Well, it's a worldwide thing, and I'm saying just within the boundaries of the United States in terms of the infrastructure. So we don't need to have rural America still on AOL dial-up. Yeah, like Biden has already started to talk about deficit investment and talk about infrastructure and doing these kinds of things, and I think it's the time. Now's the time. It has never been more the time. The fact that we've been involved in an intractable war in Afghanistan for 14 years or however long it's fucking been at this point, 16 years? I don't even know. And we've dropped trillions of dollars on that with nothing in exchange or return or anything. Yeah, why don't we figure out a way to make the internet like more accessible to all people?
Yeah, just have an internet box in your house. Well, you used to have a fucking phone jack.
Yeah, natural gas, electricity, internet.
I'm in.
Thanks. But yeah, getting back to the schadenfreude of watching Trump get deplatformed. He didn't mention it today when he came out and said, everything I said was perfectly fine. Everybody analyzed it and they said that it was perfectly acceptable.
Beautiful words. I've been hearing from a lot of people that they said it was the best words.
They said. People are saying, everyone's saying it. And at the time of this recording, by tomorrow, we may be on our second impeachment or something. I don't know. At this point, I'm like, I don't care. Just like pick him up by his pants and kick him in the butt down the stairs and just give him a bindle and send him off on a freight train. Like, go away.
The only reason I would like to see that whatever impeachment be successful is because that they can include stipulations where he can't run for office again. And
why can't Biden just make that an executive order? I mean, like, I don't understand the limitations of power here.
Do you want the president to have that power to be able to be like, you can't run?
Well, considering Donald Trump banned Muslims from coming from various countries, or I'm sorry, it's not exactly Muslims, but people from wherever. I mean, a completely arbitrary decision.
Look, Casey, I don't think that the president should be able to buy Louisiana, but I'm a strict. I'm a strict down the line.
I also don't. I don't think the president should be able to own slaves, but we went through that one already. But again, Donald Trump now joins the luminaries, such as the guy who's been deplatformed because he denied that Sandy Hook happened.
I thought you were going to say Santa Claus, and I'm like, whoa.
Santa Claus, yeah. So
yes, and Santa Claus is no more.
The idea that over 75 million people voted for this guy to be president again, and B, like, this is how he's going out.
Well, so what's interesting is, isn't this like the problem that we had with fucking Reconstruction? Is that if, just less than half of the country is said, no, we're all into this shit, and the other half is like, no, we ain't. How do you live with your neighbors from now on? Like, what do you do? How do you make your neighbors be like...
How do you live with your neighbors when they believe that the Democrats are a satanic pedophile cannibal ring?
Yeah, like, are you really you now know how dumb these people are, like, and it makes it hard to be around them. It makes it bad to be around them.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
The
I was at the
problem-
point where I was kind of like trying to be accepting of these people that are just clearly getting the worst possible information. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm done. I can't anymore. I'm done. Sorry, guys. Like, you're fucking stupid, dumb, brainwashed.
The problem that I have, the problem that I see, is that any corrective measure at this point, while it may be necessary, it is going to further galvanize those who are already in that mindset.
Yep.
So, like, okay, yes, the reasonable thing is, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't let someone who's inciting violence on your platform, but then all of it, QAnon people, all the people who support Trump, like that further says, like, no, we are the victim here, and there's no, like, it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
In my mind.
And that's the other thing about this group of people who, 4 years ago were obsessed with liberal tears and snowflakes and safe spaces and this and that and the other, but are now the ultimate whining pariahs about getting censored on Twitter.
They kicked me off the plane and they called me a terrorist, man.
Yeah, the best. Ooh, that lady who had that little video where she was like, I got maced, they maced me. And she said she was from Knoxville, Tennessee, but she's actually
Elizabeth
from Bowie.
Knoxville.
She's from Bowie,
I'm
Maryland.
Elizabeth from Knoxville. There's another great one where it's a couple of ladies getting thrown off a plane. One of them has an accent, but the other one, you can just tell that her shoulder has been completely separated from her upper torso.
Wow.
And it is fucking wild. And I watch it, and as a guy who had to get shoulder surgery because his arm kept popping out, I know what that pain is, and I'm so happy to see it delivered upon her. I follow one very, very conservative person on Instagram. I follow a couple, but only one that I know. I might be in a room, when we're allowed to be in the same room as people. Like within a year, I might be in the same room as her. I'm gonna say something to her, but for now, I just look at her Instagram. The shit that she says and thinks is so fucking off the fucking wall.
Mm-hmm.
Blows my goddamn mind.
I think a lot of it still, though, is performative for the purposes of social media. Like, if you actually speak to people about these types of things, like, they will say it to a camera that is being broadcast to a sea of strangers on the internet. But if you actually sit there and talk to them about this shit, like, a lot of it is like, well, I heard this, and I'm like, look, it's reality in reality's terms. Like, none of this happened. The election was not stolen. Yada yada.
No, I think I'm pretty sure it's either on Joe's or our good friend Kate Smith's Facebook. There was a great thread where some guy sat at a computer and typed out Q, what it was, and a real detailed, insane person's fucking manifesto. And then at the end of it said, how can you not see that this is true? And it's like, and I know,
zero evidence.
I was, he's like, this is Q. He's from this, and he's getting this information, and this happens, and that happened, and what, and then and this is why I don't know if it's Kate or Joe's, but they were both involved, and because Joe just posted here's an article where everything you said has been debunked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's just so fucking easy. And these are college graduates, and these are legitimate people who have just taken a fucking step off the goddamn deep end.
Right, and I think at this point they're pot committed and can't be convinced that they're wrong because they've invested
Here's a question.
So many calories in this worldview. Say what?
There are enough examples in the animal kingdom of groups of animals and insects and shit becoming too big and just too much, and all of a sudden they their colonies or whatever die and shit collapse. Like that. Yeah. Or is this it? Is this listen, you guys had a good 6,000 year run And that about, because that's how long ago the Earth was created, 6,000 years.
I honestly thought that COVID was going to be the equalizer because it's been politicized and that we've got a group of people that are just like, fuck it, I don't care, freedom.
No. See, I think COVID's just part of it. If we look at Earth as like a Gaia, right? A living superorganism. Yep. Yeah, exactly. A living superorganism in which it is. That's Guinan, by the way.
Which, no. She was also Gaia from Captain Planet.
Was it Whoopi?
I believe it was.
Not important.
Very important.
It's all of these things acting in concert. It's coronavirus and this weird way that all of a sudden half the known world has gone just completely batshit fucking crazy, and like these two things colliding with each other. It's very The Happening. Like instead of the leaves coming poison, it's more like our brains are coming crazy juice, and then there's also this virus thing, and like we're just running outside with no masks, and we're believing that Democrats are fucking kids in pizza parlors, and like and just pretty soon the nukes start falling, and then we're all living in caves again, and then we just fucking start over, and then like we build to it again, and then have you seen this movie? I believe it's called The Matrix Revolutions. What's the last Matrix movie?
Reloaded is Revolutions is the third one.
It can't be right. That cannot be right.
It's a big old cave. Yeah, cave prison, high school.
This has all happened before, and it's gonna happen again. Like this is. What if we're just? Wouldn't it be weird if we're just here for the first go round of humanity? Like,
I'd rather not.
It's wild, man.
I'd rather live out my life in relative peace. Get my tiny house colony and a pepper farm going.
What do you think 20 years from now looks like?
Pretty much the same, but with like more electric cars.
I think we are so fucking like. I think we're eating like stray dogs on the street.
Nah.
I think it's Mad Max.
I do think that we've seen the winds of change, if you will, with young people getting involved in leadership and getting involved in politics. That it's a new breed of cat that isn't a complete corrupt piece of shit, and really do have as much disdain for corruption and malfeasance and wasteful this and that and the other as I do.
Well. Then I hope that we all follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park, and then we can hear the winds
of change.
Written
by the CIA.
Oh, boy, did we ever come back to that and talk about the ending and just how fucking disappointing it was?
Very Winds of Change. The podcast sets up the premise that Winds of Change, the song by the Scorpions, was written by the CIA, and the last episode is just kind of like, nah. The guy from the Scorpions just like, wow, that's crazy. That what? No,
he's basically like, yo, you think that? Did you hear the one about the fucking pedophiles in the pizza place?
Right.
Because that's crazy too.
I've got a real story for you, bro.
Yo, let me tell you about Q.
Donald Joffrey Trump is the savior humanity has been waiting for, but he lost the election. So post presidents, he's going to lead an uprising and take down the United States government.
So here's my question. In 5 years or so, when Trump has come and gone and maybe died quietly or still just whatever, how are people going to explain the fact that none of the shit that they said was going to happen ever came true? Like, you can very much listen.
It's all part of the plan.
How are they going to say? Because the plan states very. Yo, did you guys listen? Are you following enough crazy people to know that they think that they arrested the Pope this week?
Yeah.
I did hear
Sounds
that
legit.
the headdress guy was being accused of Antifa, and then he was upset that he was being
No.
accused of Antifa.
I'm not making this up. There is a certain segment of the population that believes that a blackout in Pakistan and a blackout in Vatican City are connected, and that the Pope has been arrested on 80 counts of sex with kids or whatever.
Yeah, pedophilia.
And
That
that there is an order that they're not allowed to publish about it.
Sure.
According to child trafficking organs.blogspot.com.
This is real.
Correct.
You know what? I'll send you guys some screenshots of this person I follow.
I think we should
wild.
pivot on this podcast and just make it all about like I said, we're the QAnon podcast now, but we should just start really getting into these things and start researching them and
Here's the problem. I'm like really into like following these people because I think they're crazy. What happens when I find this other one? I'm like, oh wait, what?
right.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Start over. I'm
You
sorry.
find a nice little nugget and you're like, ooh, this seems plausible.
Listen. Look, they're saying a lot of crazy stuff, but this one thing, I do wonder how they turned blizzards over at Dairy Queen. Question:
What if Geostorm were a documentary?
Geostorm? No, that's a different podcast.
Yeah. Casey, how come so many of these people, these fucking...
Casey just made a face, and I want to know why.
Well, yeah.
Because I sent you the link to child trafficking organs.blogspot.com where they outline what happened with the Pope, but it is just a rabbit hole of spraying chemtrails on the public, exposure of this secret operation.
How is 5G involved?
Yeah, Casey, it's just best to stick to Instagram and follow the right people.
Yeah, Instagram is just like a nice, peaceful place full of bikini pics and food and dogs and cats and babies.
Oh, that's the weirdest part, is interspersed with their insane fucking conspiracy theories. They're like jerk-off pics. And I'm like, all right, you know,
a lot of weird hotties doing like conspiracy stuff that'll sprinkle in a bunch of lingerie photos or something to that effect.
Like, look, I don't listen because we fetishize what we hate. I do follow a fair amount of girls who will post pictures in Confederate flag bikinis.
Right.
I can't stop them from doing that. I hate them. I love them at the same time. It's a dichotomy. You know, it's just me. It's really weird though when they like move from like Southern pride. Oh, you're racist with great tits. Conflict. To don't get the vaccine. There are microchips in it. I'm like, right. Oh, but then there's also like it's like there's two things. When there was one thing, I could be like, okay, you're serving this purpose. Now when there's two things, it's like, okay, you've moved into like the first purpose is just like, oh, you're a scandalous thing to be, like get boners to, and then this next thing is, oh, I'm watching you like you're a zoo animal.
That's basically it. Two things before we wrap up things here on the old pod. One, Casey, I gotta address your people. Those of you who are in IT and cyber, like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, why are so many of these Q people and fucking Trumpers in government contracting, IT, computers, this and that and the other? Like, I feel like it's a very, very strong majority of people that work in that line of work that are into that
Before Casey can answer, let me answer for him, is because these computer nerds can't get laid. So they all get red pilled, and they all go into Trump shit.
Right.
And then they're like, you're paging Paul from like, tech, and he shows up, and like you hate talking to him anyway because he's only gonna like, did you unplug it? And you're like, yeah, Paul. And then he's gonna be like, also, did you hear about that pizza place on K Street where all the Democrats go to cornhole little boys?
The problem is that it's not just that though. Like, you go on Facebook, and it's like people who you would think that are normal, and they're like, hey, the headdress dude was Antifa, or it was a false flag operation, and blah blah blah. Like, For IT, I guess if you spend way too much time in front of a computer, like eventually you're going to go down some rabbit hole and then not come up.
Casey, question. How do you get to the dark web?
Honestly, I should know, and I don't. I can figure it out. I just don't.
Yeah, we need to figure that out for like a future episode and do a live demo of the dark web and find like drugs on silkroad.penis.
No, we need to do an episode, a little YouTube episode of Brian explaining the dark web.
Yeah. That'll be a good 5 minutes of fame.
Here, I mean, do you need like a 56.6 baud modem or something for?
Yeah, I think you need some Tor.
Like, do you need like an outside the computer modem like I haven't seen in decades?
You need a CD from AOL.
Yeah.
Question:
put it in the microwave.
How does one get America on? What is America Online? If I wanted to see what my AIM profile looked like, where could I do that?
It's gone forever.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gone forever.
The other thing I wanted to talk about or brief upon before we get to shut-ups was that was an amazing amount of white nationalist flaggery at this insurrection. Like Confederate flags,
the
flaggery. The don't tread on me thing, which is at this point to me is just like it's just a dog whistle for I'm a white guy who hates the government and probably don't like black people so much. Yeah, actual Nazi flags like in the Capitol building, and what amazes me is this is a bunch of people.
The Confederate flag,
right? Confederate flag, Nazi flags, that weird green one that's like a homogeny of some other symbology.
It's the Kekistan flag. It's a peppy thing.
Right.
The Antifa went down to the MAGA store down in DuPont Circle and bought up all the MAGA gear. That's the only explanation.
But yeah, I think at my 60th birthday, my toast will be like, "Hey, remember that time that a bunch of white nationalists invaded the Capitol building and almost zip-tied Nancy Pelosi?"
Oh, Evan, it's gonna be a nuclear winter. We're not gonna have your 60th birthday.
Good, because I want to go skiing again.
Oh, in jeans?
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding
Left
me?
line, hit.
All right, I think that's enough. It is now. I mean, we're already a little angry. It's time to get a little angrier.
My head's gonna explode.
Oh, time to get a little pissed off. Wait. Time to get a little. What was the second one? Venti. Yes,
I'm
Venti.
just here.
Venti.
I have something incredibly specific to myself, but also incredibly relatable. I hope you all enjoy it.
All that and more when we tell everyone to shut up.
Total Carnage! Yeah!
All right, this is the end of the show in which we give persons, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life and giving us the opposite of jollies a hearty proverbial or literal shut up. Casey, what do we got from the Fam Zone on Facebook?
From the Fam Zone, listener John says, "Shut up to Donald Trump," but Twitter just handled business.
Yeah.
Referring to Twitter suspending its account. I was there. Like, I think I was like 2 minutes behind it happening, and it was. That was wild. That was crazy. The president got banned from Twitter.
A friend of Hannah the Miller's friends works at Twitter and was there in the war room when they made the decision.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like 2020,
I would have loved to be the
2021.
fly on Mike Pence's hair on the wall. I nailed it.
Feel like we're just living in the like Mad Libs version of reality.
Yes.
The president got banned from Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think any amount of Joe Biden's soothing speeches with riddled with stuttering is gonna, right this death spiraling plane of a society.
Oh, he does stutter.
Yeah, it's a thing. What else we got, Casey?
Kelsey says, "Shut up to fascism." Am I right?
Sure.
I mean, you're right. Absolutely right.
Yes. It doesn't
Have
work.
you seen the picture of people wearing these shirts that say anti-Antifa?
Anti-Antifa, so pro-fascism. All right. Anything else?
That's it for the fan. That's it for the fan zone.
Okay. What do you got for yourself?
Shut up to all the elected officials and representatives that still are harping on that bandwagon about the election being stolen when the president almost got you killed.
Yeah, feckless, fucking cowardly pieces of shit, and they should all be fucking run out on a rail.
And Andy Harris, like, trying to start a fist fight.
Oh my god. Ugh. He's the most shameful of Maryland politicians, correct? And I'm including Catherine Pugh in this.
Yes. Probably.
Yes.
Cool. Let's get him on the podcast.
I'll text you.
Would you tell him it's part of, like, we're interviewing true believers and
I'm just gonna tell him we're three white dudes with the podcast. One of us is Jewish. Oh, campaign money.
Oh. My shut up this week is to medium cheese pizzas that cost more than $11. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that you get the large for the $1.50 more because it's just so the service area, it just adds so much more to the pizza and it's not that expensive.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, no cheese pizza of any size should cost more than $13, and I'm talking to like the 46-incher.
No, shut up to, this is not my shut up. Shut up to $1.50 toppings. That's insane.
Ridiculous. Like, and they're all $1.50? Are you kidding me? So, like, buffalo chicken as a topping is $1.50, but green peppers?
Onions cost 69 cents a pound.
Nice.
Do you know how many onions that is? It's 2.
Yeah. You can get 2 whole onions on your pizza for 69 cents.
Yeah.
Or like three strips of buffalo chicken.
Also, I would. Oh, man, someone get me a fucking Joe Corby's right now.
Yes. It's good shit.
They got that honeycomb crust.
All right, Brian, what do you got?
Okay, so like I said, incredibly specific to me, but I think it's an experience, a circumstance that everybody can relate to. I have just a perfect heart-shaped ass. Unfortunately, at the bottom of the heart, let's say, but on the nexus of going inside into, like, between my legs, my upper thigh, and where the crease of my butt starts. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
I have a zit there, and it hurts. It's the worst.
Yeah, butt zits
and
hurt.
I think we've all been there.
Small the back zits, butt zits, they all hurt, like, extra bad.
What is that about, man?
That's God punishing you.
I just want everyone to know I'm human too, and you know that's the problem I'm having this week.
So wait, you're not a robot?
No, a robot.
Robutt. Title of the episode.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Beep boop. All right, that has been episode 344. I can't remember. I can never remember. I'm so bad at this. If you were one of the rare individuals that watched this entire episode on YouTube, please leave us a comment. The comments help. They really do, and we are actually getting new subscribers, like, more frequently than I thought we would. We're trying to get to 100
nice.
Within the next 6 weeks or so. Please do subscribe to the channel, and I'm including you, Brian, in this request.
I subscribed to it years ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, we're
comment.
Yes, comment. Please leave comments, and if people are leaving you comments, then you should reply to them, Brian.
I check all of our videos.
Cool, great. Anyway, thank you very much if you are one of those several people, still in the single digits, I'm just going to say that are watching these on YouTube. But I do promise that we are bringing you more content for the YouTube, which includes 5 Minutes with the Fam. And future episodes of Ziggy Gets It Wrong. Any final thoughts from the two of you guys?
I can't wait to see you guys in DC on next Tuesday.
Lock and load, baby. Casey, anything? Just
Stop the steal. That's all I'm saying.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Oh, very good. Nice Bender quote. to finish.
I'm going to start my own Capitol building with blackjack and hookers.
All right, thank you very much for being a friend. Thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you very much. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Yeah.